Do you wave your terrible towel when Renegade plays? Reach for a tasty cake when JJ shouts, "He scores!" Does the sound of an F1 engine make your heart race? Doing push-ups with the Nittany Lion after a TD? Then lend us an ear, and we will share the exhilaration of Steelers football, the excitement of Flyers hockey, the nail-biting finishes of F1, and the pride when we yell, "We are Penn State." Welcome to the SteelFlyers Show, the strangest combination of sports fandom since pineapple was put on pizza. Greetings, Steeler Nation, and how's everybody doing? This is SteelFlyers from the SteelFlyers All Sports Network, welcoming you to a 2022 NFL Draft Pittsburgh Steelers preview. We want to get into some really awesome things here and talk about some of the things that we think that the Steelers are going to potentially do in this upcoming draft. For sure. Thank you all very much for checking us out. Thank you very much for watching and for enjoying all the great content. Thank you all very much for the support. Would not be able to be here if it wouldn't be for you guys. So thank you all very much. Really appreciate all that. You can check us out online at www.steelflyers.com, where you can check out all the great content from all of us at the SteelFlyers All Sports Network. And we're talking about Pittsburgh Steelers coming up here in the 2022 NFL Draft. So, a lot of people, a lot of mock drafters, or mock drafting, or whatever you want to call it. Because this is that, special time of year where you get mock draft 2.0, 3.0, 6.0, 20.0, whatever. Everybody's got their opinion, and, hey, I'm going to be a little bit guilty of that, too. We're going to throw some of my opinion out there, too, so. But from what I've been seeing, a lot of folks in their mock drafts have been pegging Pittsburgh to either trade up to select a quarterback or to potentially still be able to remain in their spot and pick something. But if they're going to get a quarterback, I don't think they're going to be able to remain at the 20th selection, I believe. They're going to have to trade up, I think, at the very least, to get a quarterback, I think, if that's the route they want to go. And I've seen a lot of the mock drafts with Malik Willis from Liberty going to Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh going to Matt Corral from Mississippi, Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati, all going to Pittsburgh in some way, shape, form, or another in all the mock drafts that I've seen. And I'm here to tell you guys that I'm going to be on the other side of the fence on this. I don't think Pittsburgh should go for a quarterback this year. I think now it's very unfortunate that what happened in the offseason with Haskins, and condolences and prayers to the Haskins family. That's always a very sad when a talented young player is taken for far too soon. So condolences to the Haskins family, but that kind of puts Pittsburgh in a little bit of a quandary where they did have three quarterbacks. Now they're down to two because Dodds left in free agency. And so obviously Ben retired, and that leaves Pittsburgh with the Mitchell Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. So with that being said, I think maybe this might not be the year to pick a quarterback, owing to the nature of the fact that Pittsburgh has two pretty... they're going to have to start with Mason or Mitch, either way you slice it. I think Trubisky is going to surprise some folks. I think he's going to fit into the Matt Canada offense a little better than most people think. He's a lot more mobile than Ben. And this is why I think if they're going to stay with Matt Canada, this is why I think they should skip the quarterback this year and go with like an offensive line center like Tyler Lauderbaum from Iowa, 6'2", 296-pounder. He's won all of the awards for being center. 3-4 year starter there in Iowa. Leader on the field, off the field. But one of those players that's projected as one of the better types of players. And I think Pittsburgh would do much better to draft a center than try to draft a guard and make them a center like what they did last year. Clearly he was out of his element. Clearly, being a rookie was tough. And, I get it. But if you're not a natural center and you're going in as a rookie, you're already behind the 8 ball as far as I'm concerned. Pittsburgh's offense, Matt Canada's offense with the jet options and sweeps with a lot of the RPOs is predicated on offensive linemen that are capable of withstanding the pass rush and then also being athletic enough and fast enough to do the pulls and to do the sweeps. I think with the offensive weaponry that Pittsburgh has amassed, yes, we lost Juju. I think Pittsburgh needs to screw on their contract jaws and get Dante Johnson signed. I think with Chase Claypool, with Boykin that was picked up from Baltimore, 6'4", 204-pounder. We got Ebron, Gentry, Fairmouth, Chase Claypool, Johnson. I think that's a pretty nice little wide receiver, tight end / group. Not saying that they couldn't add to that, which they very well can in this draft. You know what I'm saying? But so that's why I think that Pittsburgh should pass on a quarterback. Yeah, pass on a quarterback. Yay, all right, pass on a quarterback. I think they should, because I think they should draft an offensive lineman like a center, like I said, the Tyler Lauderbaum. I think he's a much better selection for Pittsburgh as a first-round draft pick and stay at 20th. And then not trade away any of their draft picks, because I think next season is going to be more the season for quarterback. And I think Pittsburgh will have a better shot if they have more draft capital to potentially, if they need to trade up next year to get a quarterback, instead of wasting it, I believe, this year on a potentially, once you get past the top 3 quarterbacks, that's it. And even those top 3 quarterbacks aren't like glaring. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not this glaring generational talents that are coming out of college this coming season for the quarterbacks. You know what I mean? I also feel, too, that, look, I understand that Aiden Hutchinson is probably not going to be available for Pittsburgh. But somebody of his ilk, even Jermaine Johnson or Trayvon Walker wouldn't be bad. Jermaine from Florida, Trayvon from Georgia wouldn't be bad selections as defensive ends for Pittsburgh in the first round if you want to do that as well too. You could even go maybe even Jordan Davis or Devontae Wyatt. Even Devontae Wyatt's going to be a stretch. Both of them are from Georgia, but with Jordan Davis being a little bit more of a seasoned player, but a little bit more higher upside. I just think Pittsburgh should go more offensive line and defensive line, because let's face it, Cam Hayward is not getting any younger, and Stephon Tuitt missed almost the entire season last year. Okay, and everybody that came in, they did okay, but we need. I think that now would be a decent time to try to get one of those types of players right now in this draft. You know what I mean, as far as that's concerned. Like I said, I do like that Tyler Linderbaum as a clear selection for Pittsburgh at center, just because I believe it's a serious area of need for them. I don't know if Evan Neal will be available from Alabama, or and I've looked at Ike Ekwonu, I guess if that's how you say his name. I'm sorry if I butchered it, from NC State. But those two, even Charles Cross from Mississippi State would be We're talking about offensive tackles here. These guys, you know what I mean, and not saying that not having one of these guys in addition to what's already there in Pittsburgh is not going to be a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. Getting more talent and more skill and higher talent on the offensive line, I think, is going to bode well for Pittsburgh, especially down the road when you start getting into, okay, now not this year, but maybe next year you're going to be getting into a new quarterback. You know what I mean? Or a rookie quarterback or a drafted quarterback, or, whatever the case is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And having a good, steady offensive line already in place, having a good, steady defensive line, which is where I think Pittsburgh is kind of, I also would like to see them get some back end guys, some defensive back end guys. That wouldn't be bad either. I know that they just re-signed Terrell Edmonds, and I think that's great. I really like his game. He has done nothing but get better over the seasons. So I'm really excited about him. Not too bad here. A Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame wouldn't be a bad selection at safety. I don't know if he'll be available, but once again, not a bad selection for Pittsburgh out of Notre Dame as far as that's concerned for a safety. If Sauce Gardner is available, if Trent McDuffie is available, maybe even if Derek Stingley Jr. is available. I mean, those are three cornerbacks that Pittsburgh could very easily take that I think would do very well for the team. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at as far as that's concerned. I know a lot of the mock drafters are having Pittsburgh trade up to get a quarterback. I think next year is the year for quarterback. Let Mitchell Trubisky take over this team and let Mason be the backup, and let's see how things roll. I think Trubisky is going to surprise some folks because I think he's going to fit well into the Matt Canada offense. But I think they need to bolster their offensive line and get a good, solid center in there who can lead the offensive line, much like, Pouncey and, many before him. As the Steelers have always produced, very good centers as well. You know what I mean? So, but that's kind of my take. Let me know what you guys think. Come on, this is all up for debate. The draft is going to be dropping here real soon, and I'm really excited to see what Pittsburgh is going to do. They actually had some capital this year and had some room to do some things, so that's going to be interesting to see what they do. Please let me know. Please hit the like and subscribe. Let the comments, please feel free to let the comments fly because I value the comments and always value to hear what the listeners have to say, especially with how the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking forward to this upcoming draft. So thank you all very much for checking us out and watching us. You can find me on Twitter at SteelFlyers52. You can also find me on the web at www.steelflyers.com. Thank you all for checking us out and for all the great talent on the SteelFlyers All Sports Network, from the great Joe Boric to the great Pearl of Wisdom, Peyton on the Radio, Off the Wall Hockey John, and Lance Green from the Hockey Writers Inc. So thanks, guys, for all the great work you guys do. Thank you all for the great support from every one of you guys out there. So thank you very much for that. Just remember, folks, stay strong, stay safe, and hang tough.